Will the ghosts be there?
Ghostwatch. Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're doing very well, and if you're new here, welcome as well. This is something that we haven't really done before. This is going to be a film, but it was actually a horror mockumentary made in 1992. And it was broadcast on October 31st, 1992 on BBC One here in the UK. Broadcast as a film with the narrator before saying,
Screen One presents an unusual and sometimes disturbing film marking Halloween.
It's such an interesting piece. Apparently the writer wanted to make something that was similar to something he saw in the 70s. If you want to see the full reaction to this, you can check it out over on the Patreon page. It's going to be a strange one. This is Ghostwatch from 1992. I will be doing trivia at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. If you're watching this around the spooky season, then happy Halloween. So excited for this. Michael Parkinson in Ghostwatch.
The program you're about to watch is a unique live investigation of the supernatural. It contains material which some viewers may find to be disturbing.
It's so cool how they've done it.
This house has been the focus of an astonishing barrage of supernatural activity.
When you think it was fake,
Now you're about to see one of the incidents.
there's something behind the curtains.
Mum said if you don't...
This was filmed in July 92.
Right?
It's proper British. What is that?
Oh, Mum, it's back! It's back! Mum! Mum, help me! Help me!
This bit you can tell is just like zooms in, digital zooms in and stuff, but really well. The lamp. Oh, that's so cool. How did they do that kind of stuff? What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and go into this like it was real, not as a fake thing, but I'm also going to be, I love that this is kind of like a title sequence, I think, for Ghostwatch. Yeah, but I'm also going to go into it in it being, you can kind of tell it's fake in some areas, but I'm going to go into it with the mindset that it was live broadcasted on TV as live, if that makes sense. I've got a bit of a production background, so I might say some really techie type stuff to say what comes to mind.
So welcome live this Halloween night. Scene in Foxhill Drive in Northolt. Our outside broadcast units are there. That's the house where it might all happen tonight, or it might not. We're going to investigate one of the most baffling and fascinating areas of human experience, the supernatural. Tonight, television is going...
Massive change in mic quality.
Irrefutable proof that ghosts really do exist.
Oh, they exist.
Dr. Lynn Pascoe to give her expert technical advice.
A fake expert. I love the skull in the background that's upside down. I think it's a skull.
Well, let's go to the main location of our programme, the house in Foxhill Drive. Craig Charles, that well-known ghost hunter,
Hey.
is
Is he a ghost hunter?
I'm fine. I've taken the Valium, man. The medium he tried unsuccessfully to exercise the house. I wonder if he's heard from Elvis lately.
Great in the gym, exercising the house.
And after that, very own Halloween switchboard. Over to you, Smithy.
You can tell some of the bits are scripted. If I tuned in live, I don't think I'd be able to tell.
This is the phone number we'd like you to call us on.
Oh! One, I love this little area right behind the screen. Two, the number I heard about it, apparently if you ring it, or if you rang
Well,
it.
so would you if your wife had just told you she was going to spend the best part of a night in the most haunted house in Britain.
Of course, we're talking about Sarah Green.
So are they married in real life? Sarah and Mike?
We've both been interested in ghosts and that.
Yeah, the thing about the number is that they put a pre-recorded message on the phone lines saying this is all a dramatised event, blah, blah, blah. But the phone lines got jammed because it was so busy.
How destructive has the haunting actually been?
Plates, teapots, cups, broken tap. We got this thick smell, so disgusting from the tap. Stains got on clothes from nowhere.
And then the central heating went.
Yeah, everybody said it was impossible. You come and live with impossible. So many things have happened. You start thinking,
Is it me?
that maybe you've done something wrong.
It's fairly believable.
Disturbing interview, that, isn't it?
The picture in the back of the ghost. Love it.
The first thing we can all do for a start is believe them.
Well, now it's high time we met our intrepid ghost watcher, Sarah Green. First Hospital Watch Sarah, now Ghostwatch.
Was Hospital Watch a real programme?
My own experience with things ghostly, albeit very brief, I might get the chance to learn a bit more tonight.
Oh, you will.
Smithy was there when I had my encounter.
This is the right environment to study these things.
Yeah, that's why I get sent out here.
One thing I would say, their lag between studio and live is non-existent, which in real life there would be some.
Well, the paranormal covers a wide range of aspects, but tonight, spontaneous cases.
What are they exactly?
Inexplicable noises, footsteps, knocking, through to voices, presences, the feeling of being watched, electrical interference.
Will we see anything? I hope so.
We've got a remote video camera mounted in every room. We have our...
See, that makes it all the more believable. He stumbles over his words and stuff.
Condition and temperature are logged on screen.
Bathroom, kitchen.
Basically, any aberration at all could be a signal or a clue.
We hope you get lots of both of those.
Fingers crossed.
Where I'm going to be able to introduce you to...
This is proper live OB.
We're at the front line of this vigil.
The dodgy camera work because it's live.
Does this camera differ in any way?
It's been adapted so we can use infrared as well.
Oh, cool.
What's the best way to demonstrate it?
I used to have a video camera that had infrared on it. Well, it wasn't really infrared, sorry. It was more night. It was night vision.
I can see you quite clearly now.
Yes, so could I on the monitor.
Did they use a real camera that had infrared or?
Steadicam when you got Chris Miller, that's what I say.
And also the information isn't changing at all. And you can see that they put the date on it of the live broadcast date, despite it being pre-rec.
Nothing can lurk in the shadows.
That's right, there's no hiding place.
Absolutely.
Is there anybody there that's not meant to be there?
Man of sound mind here, Mike Ayton. He's also the unofficial chairman of the Adrian Edmondson Lookalike Society.
Right on.
Yeah, he does kind of look a bit like Aid Edmondson, actually, yeah.
Once more into the breach. Do I have to go first?
Yeah, presenter first. Yeah, it's interesting as well. They haven't, wired up the camera with... It's all wired, if that makes sense. It's not wireless.
Can I join you for a bit of apple bobbing?
Hey, apple bobbing! Apple bobbing and Pin the Tail on the Donkey. Love those two.
Why did you choose that particular house?
It was a decision we made over many weeks. We ran a computer programme of all the haunted locations in the UK. Foxhole had more tangible phenomena.
This is really believable. Not sure if there's a computer program that does that, but...
We'll see evidence of that, of course, later on in the programme.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Sometimes we saw nothing for weeks, and then other times things were coming through thick and fast. We had difficulty logging it all. I mean, some nights it was like being in a circus or a...
What about Halloween? Will that make any difference, do you think?
Yeah, I think it will.
It should do. It will bring it more... It's in people's brains more. Don't they say that the world to the other side is closer on Halloween or something? I think.
Emma, hello.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I did have a story.
That's cool, the little graphic.
You know, at the beginning, when you showed the real footage of that haunted bedroom, I was sure I could see a figure standing behind against the wall, just by the curtain.
Oh, I've got shivers. I said that, didn't I? I said there was a
person's body, at least, standing there in a black dress.
I didn't see that. I didn't see a woman's dress. So.
If you can actually spot up the specific point on that tape where you saw this, we'll actually spool it back to the point where you tell us.
Oh, we're going to see that later. That'd be cool. Oh, I love this kind of thing, like paranormal investigation type stuff.
We search for that piece of tape. Let's find out what Sarah's up to.
If I didn't know this was fake, I wouldn't know.
Nothing to report from here yet, except how absolutely useless I am at apple bobbing.
I used to be very, very good at apple bobbing.
Who was that?
Someone banging the microphone like that.
Can you hear this? Are you hearing?
It's something. But...
An utter beast.
Beast?
I didn't think that was going to be the word.
Well, I had a bet with your husband that I could get a 4-letter word out here on television. I nearly did as well. It was beast.
I think that is such a cheap shot.
It's Halloween.
Can you get out the way a minute? You're in the middle of my close-up.
Pleasure.
They were in on it.
It's brilliant.
Give me an apple.
I remember watching a couple of episodes of Red Dwarf years ago, but never saw a lot of it.
Our producer, in fact, created a happening in the house just in case we were on a wild ghost hunt, so to speak.
We aren't, I promise you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we are. The show might not be that eventful.
There's violence at some time or another in every part of London, and this estate is no exception.
From knowing what presenters are like on and off air, you guys know when you see presenters on air and how they can be, you can kind of tell they're acting it a little bit.
Who was the first person to experience something?
Suzanne wanted to stay up and watch some film and I wouldn't let her. Go on, Susie, you say what happened.
Mum, tell him.
I was in bed. Mum came in to tuck me in. Instead, she just stood by the bed, looking at me. At least I thought it was her.
Just say it for the mum.
But that night I fell asleep in front of the television. I told her she must have been dreaming. Then a few days later it was my room.
I've not seen anything weird yet.
A few days later, these terrible noises woke me coming from the walls, like a thudding.
All around you?
Yes, like the whole room was going to come apart.
Did anybody else hear it?
It's so itsy. It's very raw.
I was screaming, I was shouting, what is it, what is it?
She reminds me a little bit of Lucy from My Parents Are Aliens.
I said it was pipes. No, it's central heating. So afterwards, whenever Kim heard something, she'd say, it's pipes.
Oh, have they named it?
Whereabouts was it coming from?
There.
What is it that's over there?
Pipes. That's where he hides.
Oh, that was where I said earlier. And where they called in as well and said about. I'm being amazed by it, even though it's, I know it's not real, but...
Kim, how do you know he lives down there?
Because I saw him through the crack. He was there. He was staring at me.
They're watching the TV channel.
Let's have a look.
I used to have that stereo in the background.
And is that exactly how he looked when you saw him?
Yeah, he was disgusting.
It's a good picture.
It's a present.
Thank you very much. Why don't we put it up somewhere?
In the fridge in the kitchen.
In the fridge?
That little girl is believable. Not so much the other one.
Pam, there was something else, wasn't there?
Yes, there's also this. One day I looked in Susie's exercise book from school. I was so shocked.
What does that say?
I was going to hit her. I was so mad.
Well, it wasn't me. I don't even write like that.
But what does it say?
Who or what?
Lots of questions there that need answering.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of stuff that just very vague. Interesting, though.
I've got 8 or 9 phone calls here, which are like Emma Stableford's we had earlier on.
Oh, we've got more people saying.
Mysterious dark figure in the background of that shot.
But there was something in the corner left.
Have we got that sequence ready yet?
Let's roll the tape. There you are.
Or are we now going to see something extra?
Turn the light off.
Well, there, behind the curtains.
What is it if you don't?
Oh, I
Now, this is the point where Emma
didn't...
Stableford, our caller.
Oh, that's been edited.
Can we rewind it?
Sure, yeah, let's rewind
Can we
it.
play it again?
What is he saying that he can't see anything? It's there.
Go forward slowly.
So it's not there
enough.
now. Yeah, it's not there that time. That's clever. Unless it just appears right in front of the
I
camera.
can't see anything now myself. False alarm?
Yeah, I think I can see what's happened. You see the shadow cast by the curtain? See on the curtain on the left-hand side?
There, it's there now. So clever that they've missed.
You can actually use a light
Gone
pencil
between.
on the screen there, exactly the area that you're talking about.
It's a sort of shape there, a face maybe. And
I wonder if it's that thing, where you put your dressing gown on the back of a bedroom door, and in a certain light you look at it. It looks like a human form.
Yeah, it could be that, but it's not, because it disappears from one thing to the next.
the first thing you attempt to create in any abstract shape is a human face.
That is actually true.
But what's been the worst moment so far, do you think?
My ex-husband, used to develop his own photos in a dark room under the stairs. The glory hole, as we used to call it when I was a kid.
The glory hole? You sure about that name?
I got it into my head to try and find one of my solicitor's letters. All of a sudden, the door stuck, like somebody was pushing it from outside.
It'd be funny if while they were filming this, actual strange things started happening.
I started screaming for Kimmy and Susie, but all they could hear was my banging. And all I could hear was Kimmy shouting, "It's pipes, Mum."
I was going to say, imagine they just assumed it was pipes and didn't get
When I
out.
was in there, I swear as God's my witness, I felt this man in there with me, breathing right up against my face, like strong, like rotten cabbage. I nearly died.
Lovely. I must admit, I've never seen that layout of a house before, where there's just an opening into the front room like that.
We saw a social worker, and they said we should all see a psychiatrist.
And did you?
Tell me what happened when the newspapers got their teeth into the story.
That was a disaster.
I believe in the devil, says Spook House Mother. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
Sounds about right. Newspapers over-exaggerating everything.
So I went to the local TV. So ever since then, she calls the noises pipes.
I like how they've got it all queued up ready.
Why? Do you think Mr. Pipes has come to hurt you?
I think he's come to hurt everybody. I think he wants to do nasty things.
Pam, thanks for letting us see that. Pamela's just going to make her way outside now. She'll be there waiting to take your calls.
That's weird. Why would you put the lady, the mum, outside in the studio without the girls?
Thanks also for allowing our cameras into your home. That can't have been an easy decision to have taken.
Suzanne was getting fed up with the jibe she was getting at school, with the papers calling us liars. She said, Mum, Dr. Pascoe wants us to do this BBC thing.
And then they did.
I want to tell everyone that they're not going mad like I thought I was.
See, I've seen really weird things before. I find the supernatural stuff really interesting.
When I was a girl, I was brought up in a house in Brighton, and we had a ghost. Often find things broken, and it's sort of coming out about this boy who died there and how it affected me. That's all I wanted to say, really.
It can traumatize people. Apparently, this show traumatized people when it went out. That's one of the reasons I want to watch it, to see how, why did it.
There's this book of yours, your account of your investigation into this case, and you also made a film.
They've really gone to work on this. They've got loads of different bits of VT to put in, and another university research video.
Sensory inputs are blocked off. You just feed in the white sound.
Bright light.
Bright light.
We would hear the voice.
We should hear the voice, actually. Let's hear it now.
How are they going to hear it? Will they listen to the tape again?
I should say that this tape is completely undoctored.
Should also warn our viewers of a nervous disposition. Things on this tape that they might find a little bit distressing.
At one point, we filled Suzanne's mouth with coloured liquid and we sealed her lips with tape, and the voice continued with absolutely no change in quality whatsoever.
That's weird. Why would you? No, why?
Quiet now. If you can grunt, can you speak?
I like that lowering the lights. They said red rum.
Who are you? What's your name? Jesus Christ, are you joking? Are you dead? Are you in heaven?
What's that in the background? What the... Oh, I've got chills. What was that in the background? Oh.
Voice recording and compared it to Suzanne's normal speech pattern, and they defined it as the voices of two separate people.
What other evidence do we have, Doctor?
This is my favourite, I think. This pillow moved diagonally to within about a foot of my face.
Oh.
It's impossible to fake that. How do you fake that?
I don't know.
It's a weird photo. It just looks like someone's thrown it across the room. But
Now, how did these breakages occur? Were they dropped?
They've pieced this together so well.
It's been caused by intense temperature change, not by impact or shock. And clocks and watches just stop.
And favourites in situation.
Bennett spoons. Bit of Uri Geller.
Quite remarkable. A couple of regular little Uri Gellers.
Yeah, there you go.
Suzanne, when did you first get these marks on your face?
About July, the first one was. It was horrible.
Her, you can tell, is an actress.
I'd just wake up and it would feel like someone was all over me.
You can tell she's an actress.
We've got some of the pictures that were taken there.
Oh, God.
Alan and I watched them appear.
So weird, though, because I'm slowly losing that it was fake.
From what we've seen, do you think that poltergeist activity is now centred on Suzanne?
As a female approaching puberty, she does conform to the classic, typical poltergeist focus.
Is that what happens with poltergeists? I didn't know that was a thing.
How does that explain the other things, like the glory hole?
That name.
You believe it's an actual ghost?
Don't you, Lynn?
Pam, I'm not disagreeing with you. There's something there. I'm just trying to understand what it is.
Maybe she's just trying to say that the poltergeist is there because of the girl. I think that's what she's trying to say.
Would have it that there's nothing there.
A lot of people would have it at one time that you couldn't walk on the moon.
All right, well...
What are your thoughts? Did we walk on the moon?
Just Emilio Silvestri, a former member of the Skeptic Society Psychop. Good evening, Dr. Silvestri.
Oh, wait.
I'd like to hear your conclusions. What are they?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. There's nothing in the tape that couldn't be faked.
Doctor Who, I think he's in. And Jonathan Creek, maybe?
The lesions on Suzanne's face.
Scratched by her fingernails.
She's not lying. Believe her.
I'd love to.
Believe her.
Doesn't make it a scientific fact.
Forceful. Believe it.
It's all part of human experience, and that's what we're studying.
Is it provable? No.
No, it's not.
Prove their loony theories in laboratory conditions, and they can't.
There are some things you can't demonstrate in a lab. Show me falling in love in a lab. Show me...
You got to do it for real.
These people are not deceiving us. They're in trauma, for God's sake. Why would they do it to themselves? The early family are suffering just like people who've had plane crashes. The only difference is that nobody says that they don't believe in plane crashes.
Because they happen, but we don't see them much.
You joke about it because you're afraid to face it.
Lynn, you ought to be selling crystals on Venice Beach.
No.
Good doctor made you cross, didn't he?
No.
Yes, he did.
What's happening there?
Quite quiet, actually. A bit too quiet.
Don't say that.
Turned off Dr. Silvestri. I don't think she was that enamoured.
What does he know? He's not here.
Well, Silvestri's not a real psychologist or whatever he is.
Sarah, perhaps you could tell us that ghost story.
We're staying at some friends of ours. They live in the Cotswolds, 15th, 16th century house.
I love the Cotswolds.
One night, I was woken up by the sound of this harpsichord music. It was like chamber music. But you know when a noise comes into your dream and you're not quite sure it's in a dream or whether it's actually happening?
I've had that recently. I've had the sound of an alarm clock, but it's not an alarm clock that I have.
All I could see was this Indian woman's face, and she had her hair sort of pulled across her forehead and then tightly back, and kohl around her eyes, and her eyes were going from side to side. And slowly the eyes lifted up and rolled right back until they were white, and then the face went. Well, next morning, I couldn't wait to sort of tell everybody about this.
Does Mike know? Take it not, because he's listening.
The house had once belonged to the Viceroy of India. It had 2 Indian concubines living in the house with him. And when they died, he couldn't bury them in consecrated ground. He wasn't allowed to. So he buried them out in his garden. And there had been talk in the village of actually digging up the grave.
Oh, no, never dig up the grave.
To me, that this was a sort of message to say, no, they mustn't do it.
Yeah, don't ever dig up the grave.
I found out that they weren't, in fact, planning to do anything with the grave. I went back up to the bedroom. I just sort of said, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. I have to say, Smithy was a bit scared the next night.
Mike's there going, no, it wasn't.
Nothing happened, and it was as though everything had gone calm again.
They've done a really good job with like reaction shots as well.
Kim just wants to go to bed now. It's a bit...
Aw, bless her.
8 o'clock, come on then. You must be a bit tired.
Yeah, this aired, I think it's meant to have aired 9:20 something, 9:25 or something.
Night, Mum.
Night, love. Sweet dreams.
I'll get the mum to come in.
Remember, there's nothing to be scared of.
Don't do it like this, it's just weird.
You really think there's nothing to be scared of?
Can't wait for something very weird to happen again, but...
You okay, Suzanne? Yes, Plenty of crisps? Yeah.
Crisps is the almighty food. We're going to see someone behind the...
Mike, how'd you take your coffee? Okay, what about you, Chris?
Milk, 1 sugar, please.
I'd almost feel happier if something was happening. Eerie, just waiting.
That was weird. Eerily quiet is what I was going to say.
Earlier, sort of... Just like an animal scratch. They don't seem to know.
There's a girl is now at the bottom of the stairs, there. Wasn't she just in bed? Were we meant to have seen her there? I am right in thinking she was at the bottom of the stairs.
Don't spook yourself.
No, it's all right. That's what we're being paid for. We've got an old hand to help us over here.
Oh, was it her? Oh, I thought it was the other sister, sorry.
You get me a glass, please?
Where?
Very bossy, isn't she?
Mum!
Hello, love. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you all right?
That's so weird. Now, I suppose they've done this on purpose because it's like an experiment because of the girls. That's why they kept the mum out of the house.
With duvets being tugged off, it wasn't at all malevolent or nasty, but this particular day certainly was.
It's probably like a producer of the show, hence why they blur it.
We both looked down, this is my half-sister again and me, and saw what looked like saliva all over the mackerel.
Oh, lovely.
Shortly after that, I found again what looked like saliva on the front doorstep.
What the hell?
I started shouting and swearing, and immediately again spit appeared on my shoes, as if in retaliation. Either shortly before or shortly after this really was disgusting, we found...
Oh, lovely.
On a cupboard door in the bathroom.
Hope you guys aren't eating. I'm sorry if you are.
And from someone who believes in ghosts to someone who's not quite sure.
Bill! I bet that scared you, didn't it? No, this is not a mask. This is Craig Charles live.
Craig Charles.
Welcome to Fright Night.
And so this is where we see someone really creepy. Like the man just standing there.
And we're going to go to a pretty sinister place. Let's break into a little bit of a jog, lads. Well, I hate Halloween.
Oh, no. Over the years, I've come to love Halloween.
I'm going to meet this woman. She's on this piece of waste ground.
Hence the massive light in the background.
Can you tell me about some of the things that have been going on around here?
We had all this banging, and it was obvious it was coming from Pam's house.
So what did you see?
Well, the top window was smashed, and Pam and Kimmy were in the garden crying, so...
Okay.
It all sounds a little bit weird. What's it like living in England's answer to Amityville?
Not very funny. I mean, some really weird and horrible things happen around here.
Ah, she's from Scotland.
Well, there was that wee girl that went missing.
What happened to her?
Oh, do you know? I mean, she just...
I mean, with cases like this, you tend to find that it all kind of comes together. Like when there's cases in the area, it all kind of culminates in one area.
My youngest son, Gary, came running into the house in a real state. When I calmed him down, it seemed that they'd been playing in here and they'd found this dead black Labrador.
Oh, no.
And how had it died?
Like something in a butcher's shop.
Oh, lovely. Thanks for that.
The kids went right for weeks.
I should imagine not. So as you can see, this is a...
Just go straight on from that story. It was creepy as hell.
Mr. Arthur Lacey. Arthur Lacey? Arthur Lacey. Come with me, Arthur. In your professional capacity, I believe.
Who's that behind? What was that? It looked like a guy missing an eye. Like a dead person. Am I right? Or did I see that? Did I not see it?
Yeah, I was physically sick for a week. I smelt blood on my hands. Something didn't want me near it. Didn't believe it was dead.
Oh, do you believe there is such a thing as an evil place?
Anyone who buys a house finds themselves weighing up those vibrations subconsciously.
Yeah, sometimes you do wonder.
I think that places somehow inherit the genes from their past too.
They're meant to.
Sorry to have to cut you off there. Sarah's got something important for us. Yes, what is it? What you got?
He's like, come on, spill it.
Here, just look at this. Now, can you see this? There's no way it could have got there. I thought maybe an old tomcat had got in or something.
Sarah, when did you see this?
Wasn't there earlier?
10 minutes ago, it wasn't here.
Okay.
Sarah, have you got a handkerchief? Can you see if the light fitting is wet?
Speaking of my granddad as well, the wallpaper was almost identical. And so was the sofa, and the TV was exactly the same. It's so weird. And I think I inherited that Alba stereo from that granddad as well. It's very strange.
There's nothing dripped off
No, it's definitely
here.
not from the light switch.
Completely dry.
Is there any smell, Sarah?
No, nothing.
Smell the hanky. See if there's anything on that now.
Why would it be on the hanky?
What can we use for a sample?
I've got a lens duster.
Suck some of whatever it is up with this.
Mate, that's not going to do it. I thought when he said a lens duster, I thought he meant like a wipe.
Typical poltergeist.
Oh, is it? Right, okay. Then maybe it will pick it up.
Good.
Oh, Suzanne!
A little bit creepy.
Can't get any water out.
Oh, is the tap going to be really... Well, the tap's going to be cloudy and coloured and stuff.
What, in fact, do you make of all this?
Well, poltergeist activity has a menu, if you like. First there are the noises, the sounds, and then water. And then the third stage is physical phenomena, moving objects.
This is really interesting so far. I love this.
Do you have a story for us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, don't worry.
I was just sitting here. You ain't going to believe this, I'm telling you. I had this sandwich, cheese and pickle sandwich it was.
Thanks for telling us.
I was minding my own business, and this dirty grey plate sitting on the arm of my chair just dived off. The mind of its bloody own it did.
How close were you to the plate?
Fairly close.
I think I get the picture, certainly. Thank you very much indeed.
They think he's joking. Maybe he wasn't joking.
I mean, it's Halloween night, home brew time. I can see you're not as sceptical as I am.
It might have been a real thing. Well, not real, but, real.
Are you picking this up too? Let's put the light on. You're going to have to be...
There's what's that on the curtain? Is that a water stain or something?
There's an alcohol down there, right?
Wow, what is it? What?
Here.
Oh, there is a scratching up in here. Oh, is he there again? Is it? What's it? What's that?
It's in the wardrobe.
Sorry, I love that a lot of it's dubbed over. It just sounds different anyway to what it would be live.
Back to bed. Get back to bed. Right. Back into bed. It's downstairs. Come on.
Okay, I thought he was in there. Oh, they got the camera glitch as well and everything.
Stopped.
Coming from that room again. Outside the window. Oh, that was creepy. Oh, that was creepy. What was that outside the window? Oh, it was a cat.
I didn't know they had a cat. Did you?
But that's the thing. Behind them. Behind them, it's standing in the front room. That was the thing I saw earlier. That was what I saw earlier outside. The thing that was in the reflection, the guy. Obviously, that was Pipes.
Come on.
No, Sarah, stay there, please. Don't go upstairs.
This would creep me out if I saw this.
Why?
Because we hear that Suzanne's got out of bed, but she's not yet appeared.
I don't know why.
She's not appeared on the landing.
Suzanne?
Suzanne's out of bed?
It could be a piece of its usual misdirection. Trust me, Sarah.
Oh yeah, she's not... Was she under the bed or... No, she's not in the corner.
Camera. Sorry, the landing camera. No, the landing on the door.
The landing on the door? All right.
Can we pan?
Pan where? Where are we panning to?
And down.
What are you doing? No, she's the one doing it.
Suzanne, are you okay?
No.
It wasn't me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So that's just proven that it's fake. That it was the girls.
Very sadly, what we witnessed was a remarkable
hoax.
Of a hoax.
Let's not be too hasty.
Oh, come on, Doc.
Or the reason she screamed and said it wasn't me is maybe the ghost pretended to be her.
Surely you've got to accept we
I
saw
don't.
it there.
Look, this is an established pattern. Genuine phenomena followed by the fakery stage when the children feel obliged to come up with the goods.
But there's definitely something wrong there because of the person we keep seeing. It's just funny that they don't see it in the studio.
I was there. I've seen them. I've seen inexplicable things. 100%. No question.
And this?
That was fake.
Let's not get sidetracked, please. Let's not lose the scent. Maybe there's a kind of...
They've already lost the scent.
Can I talk?
Well, I think I'd like to talk to her first of all.
Where's my mum?
Oh, gosh, she's going to be under so much stress.
Did you put the writing in the school book?
I want to talk about it.
What about the noises in the wall?
Unless that thing is inside her, maybe.
Mum!
It's all right, darling. Mum's here.
You can tell me.
Show them.
You didn't have to show them.
I know that she's doing it to put on a show, but it isn't her, some of it.
It's all a mistake. She doesn't know doesn't know anything.
We thought you'd leave us.
And you lied to make us stay.
That bit there is very, very dubbed over. But
We just gave you what you wanted. Stop it.
Miss Early, you've heard your daughter. She's admitted the entire thing was a deliberate fraud.
No, I'm sorry. I don't accept that. Well, she's afraid. She's frightened.
who is she talking to? Is he on the camera in the corner, on the TV in the
My
corner?
family are telling the truth. We're all telling the truth.
You are telling the truth, but that bit isn't... Oh, maybe she was just talking to the other presenter, maybe.
We're able to return to Dr. Emilio Silvestri.
Oh, he's going to be in his element. I told you it was all fake.
I imagine you're about to say, I told you so.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't get any vicarious thrill out of seeing parapsychology crucified in public, but it does validate my hypothesis.
Unless he saw the other ghost.
These are disturbed attention seekers.
Rubbish.
Primetime TV, Alice in Wonderland couldn't take it anymore.
I almost feel whatever's in there, it's deliberately muddying the waters.
There's a lot of talk behind in the studio. You can hear it.
A lot of activity in our phone room.
There we go, that's what it is. You just hear it in the background, there's so much talk. It's meant to be quiet in the studio.
We're still getting calls about that shadowy figure.
And other stuff.
What's really weird is these are all tallying with the description. These are all different phone calls. They're generally all saying that it's an old man or a woman.
Yeah, with something wrong with his eye.
Bald with a skull-like head.
Yeah.
Dark eyes.
Yeah, that's it.
Just saying holes for eyes.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I said.
Robe or a dress which is buttoned up to the neck.
Can somebody in the gallery tell me if it's possible to access the tape interviews I shot at the university?
Love it. When I was in production work, I used to be in the gallery.
They can get to it sometime.
You don't often see it, hear them mentioning the gallery.
In the meantime, we'll have another Ghostwatch story. Is all of this a hoax, or as Dr. Pascoe believes, are things just about beginning to happen?
Maybe Dr. Pascoe heard it before, saw the ghost before.
Part of the house is a lot older than the other part of the house. It had a nasty feeling. Doors open, things fell off the wall, and generally it didn't have a nice feeling.
I like that they've done these little interviews as well.
I asked for a nightlight, which made the situation worse in a way because...
Wait, can we just clear this?
Oh, something went wrong. Oh, that was weird. Oh.
Anyway, we'll try to get back to that. What we do, we go back to your calls. That's what we do. Mike Smith.
It's always issues for live broadcast.
Yes?
Hello, am I on?
Yes, you're on BBC One's Ghostwatch.
I love that it was on main BBC One as well.
We've got this big glass table. Just rested one finger on it and it exploded. Glass everywhere.
Could have had something on his fingers, but...
There's blood on the wallpaper. The ambulance has just gone. My children are frightened. Why are you doing this?
Now, look, I'm sure your children are in shock. Also, I want to say, I think it's high time probably that your kids were in bed. I mean, it is past the 9 o'clock watershed, isn't it?
That's it.
Don't say...
They won't go to bed. I can't drag them away from the TV. I tell them to look what time it is, but the clock still shows 9:30.
Excuse me, have all your clocks stopped?
Oh, that's weird.
They won't take their eyes off the set. Blood all over the wallpaper.
Look, love it. Look, it's Halloween.
When it says blood all over the wallpaper, you mean from the smash of the TV with his finger? Or there's blood everywhere?
Thanks for calling us, but we've got to move on. Thank you, love.
No.
No, don't end.
She's gone.
Put you back through.
If you're still there, don't touch anything. And if you can, take a photograph. Now, this is very valuable evidence of
I've got to say to everyone watching, please, we don't want to give anybody sleepless nights. We don't want to start panic. And the chance of them happening to you are exceedingly remote.
But they can happen, so...
So have you ever seen him then, Kenny?
Pipes. Yeah.
And what's he look like? Can you describe him?
Oh, is it because she explains it?
He's really old. And
Yeah.
this guy's got all blood all over his eye and scratch.
That's it, that's what they said.
Can we replay it?
All right, come and roll it back, VT. There?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just happens to be the right area.
All blood all over his eye and scratch.
That's exactly what they said.
Exactly
In the middle,
matches
it's got a scratch
what Mike's
all
been
the way
getting on the
down.
phones.
Could they have read the descriptions in a newspaper?
Nope.
Not containing that description. It's not appeared in print one single time, I assure you.
That it's real.
We're drawn to assuming it was Suzanne at the centre of
Yes.
this because she's at puberty, but what if she isn't? What if it's Kim?
Oh, maybe it is.
Sarah seems to be trying to get our attention.
It's Pamela. Listen to this.
It's a cat.
It's like cats. Can you hear it?
Well, there was a cat outside earlier.
It's all right. It's all around us. Like the trap somewhere. Do you hear it? Cats running around up there in the ceiling.
I've got shivers.
I can hear it now. She's right.
Mum. What is it, Kimmy? What's wrong with Susie?
Suzanne, are you okay?
Oh, dear God.
Oh, the cats with the scratches and stuff. That is creepy as hell.
It's some kind of
Oh, she is
allergen,
okay
psychosomatic reaction.
Could be so.
No, it's not a bloody...
They're saying she used her own fingernails for this.
No.
What flaming fingernails?
Yeah.
She's burning up. It's like a meat locker in here. It's so cold.
It's cold. Go to the van. Look at the signals. Is it ridiculously cold? Then it's a ghost.
We'll get out of here. Come on.
We're going to see it again. Are we going to see it again? What was that?
Behind the door.
Yeah, you heard...
Standing behind the door.
Well, you heard the...
Sarah, should we send someone in now?
She doesn't look right.
Pipe says we've got to stay.
Because Pipes wants to show you.
I should tell you if you joined to see the next programme that in fact we're staying with what we have here from Foxhill Drive because the events are...
I like that. I wonder how they did that then, because if they cancelled the next programme, did they program in another thing and then extend this film out on the schedule? If they did, then that's some thinking.
Kim's creating the energy and Suzanne's directing the violence in on herself.
You don't know, do you?
Well, no, it differs from one to the next.
A very important phone call, which I think you both should take right now.
Well, we heard the ghost in the bathroom.
My name's Mary Christopher. If we were naughty or couldn't get to sleep, our mum used to say, Mother said, we'll come to get you. It used to scare us. Rigid.
Creepy.
Years later, I found out that she really did exist, and she was a baby farmer, like a childminder.
A baby farmer? Who calls childminders baby farmers? Never mind.
Why I'm ringing is she used to live in one of the old terraces in Foxhill, and is now Foxhill Drive.
So the old person isn't an old man. Pipes is a woman because of the dress and that? Is that what?
Can I talk to Sarah, please?
Mike?
I want to speak to my wife.
We still don't know how the scratches got on her face.
I thought Pipes was a man all this time.
Probably best to get the girls out of the house now.
I got to talk to somebody.
Huh?
Kimmy? Who?
Who? Yeah.
Kim, who are you talking to?
Pipes?
Pipes.
Where's
That's
Pipes?
creepy. Are we going to
Here.
see him? He's going to pan over and we'll see him.
What does he look like, Kimmy?
Like somebody's mum.
Oh, so many shivers.
What was that?
That's Pipes.
Sorry, Ori. Come on. Downstairs.
Oh!
Myself, you know.
Oh, did he see him just then? Is that why he panned back round? That was really well done.
So Pipes wants to see everybody. Look, everybody wants to see him.
Is he behind the camera now? Again. So she said him. So Pipes is a man, looks like a mum. Or is it meant to just be a vague apparition, woman and man?
In Derby, someone was ringing to say that her clock had stopped.
Does this mean that they're broadcasting Pipes and the ghostly apparitions all across the country?
How many of these incidents are there?
I don't know. I don't know how many of these to take with a pinch of salt.
Maybe all of the places that it's happening are places where the kids were taken from. Because she was a childminder, wasn't she?
I'm sure we can assume that many, if not all of these calls are jokes. I'm more interested in what's happening at the house.
No, stick with them.
It's a young lady very distressed in response to something that we showed earlier on, and she's hung up before we've had a chance to talk to her. So
I want to chat to him. See the
I can
glitches.
hardly hear you.
Oh, this is so weird.
Suzanne's a lot quieter now.
Okay.
In some kind of a state of shock.
What's that noise?
What do I do? I can't leave them.
What is that? Oh, it's their earpieces.
Terrible noise.
You can see the light move as well. I would be freaked out if this was real.
Kimmy?
And you saw something outside the room as well at the same time. Is she okay?
Susie.
Oh God. Oh God, if I had...
Stop it!
Stop
it, Susie!
I didn't know how creepy this would have been.
Suzanne, do you hear me?
Yes. Get out. Get out if you don't want to be here. I don't care. You just mess things up. You mess everything up.
Oh, that was weird.
You can hear me.
Where's the girl? Yeah, where is she?
Let me know where you are so that we can help you.
I don't know if we were going to see him or not.
Just say something.
This is so good. Any time now I feel like we're going to see him. What the hell is that? Is that in the kitchen? Oh. Was that noise? Yeah, I was going to say it's the fridge, but... I saw something at the back of the fridge earlier, like a... Oh, right.
Come on.
I saw like a line at the back of the fridge, like it was a hole at the back of the fridge.
Bad,
but
Bobby.
ages ago. But
Here are his eyes. Oh.
What's that noise?
it's a cat again. Oh, go back to the girl. There's going to be scratches again. All that. That's opposite where the girl is, in the other room.
It's in here.
Cat's in...
It's in here. It's in the glory hole.
Don't say that. Such a weird name. Dude, don't open it. Don't open it. Maybe there are cats locked in there. For some reason, I thought that was originally the door. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Mike!
Who was that? What was that?
What's happened? Are you okay?
Oh my god. Holy
Suzanne.
He's touching me.
What?
He's hurting me.
Wait, where is she?
Get off me. Go away.
Are they all okay?
Completely.
Go in the house. Are they okay? Because all of them were gone by the end of it, pretty much.
It's on. We are definitely on. Sorry, there seems to be a bit of a...
Well, nothing to report so far from the house.
But you'd go in, wouldn't you? Check if they're okay. I feel like we're going to see pipes again. I'd go in and see if they're okay.
Only at the BBC, love.
We're back in.
Okay, they are okay.
Oh, fantastic.
But the sound guy was hurt, weren't he?
Where's the sound man? I assume that they've got him out.
Yeah, back to normal.
It's a sigh of relief, no doubt.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if I was him, I would have been run up there to get.
Panic over, hopefully.
Can we see the rest of the house?
Kind of hope that they see him at some point. They see pipes.
Perhaps there's time to take one of those many phone calls.
So nervous. The fact that we saw pipes.
But I think I have some information for you about the history of the house.
Yeah, we saw pipes there in that studio, I think. So I think that because it's being broadcast into their houses, they're experiencing pipes as well.
Do you know Mr. and Mrs. Sellers?
Lived there in the 60s, I think.
Did you know they sublet a room?
Right, to a nanny. Baby nanny?
Illegal, it wouldn't be on the official records. The lodger was their nephew, Raymond Tunstall. I worked as his social worker when he came out of psychiatric hospital. He had several convictions.
Oh, great.
He should never have been let anywhere near any community. He was a very disturbed man.
And they're saying that was him.
From the time he moved to Foxhill Drive, he developed paranoid fantasies. He used to tell me there was a woman on the inside of his body. Thoughts and actions, making him do things he didn't want to do. There was only one way to escape them. That's why I called.
Hello? Are you still there? If you are, please go on.
But he's still there. He was breathing, so...
Did it where he kept his tools? Under the stairs.
Oh, it was under the stairs.
Before anybody found him, they heard the cats screaming. He had about a dozen cats. The cats were locked in, of course. 12 days. They got hungry.
Oh, God.
They got to work.
And his eye?
On his face.
Yeah, so they scratched at his face, and maybe that's the thing for his eye as well.
In order to substantiate...
He's gone, Doctor. He's hung up.
I think this is the onion skin.
What is? Oh, this has got to be nonsense,
Before-
Doctor.
By this point, get the family out of the house.
Our switchboard's jammed. We've been inundated with hoax.
Well, it was jammed for real, live.
The spills, misdirected
Poltergeist or
calls.
no poltergeist?
They're seeing it.
He doesn't believe it.
We need to know what's happening out there.
You're the expert. What is happening out there?
Pipes is real.
Jeez.
What is
Oh,
it?
she's walked off. Oh, no, she's gone to...
What's the matter?
It's in the machine.
What?
Well, look at the picture.
Where?
On the wall. The picture on the wall.
What about the picture on the
it's
wall?
still there.
Huh?
It hasn't fallen. It's not come off the wall.
But it did earlier.
This picture we're seeing now isn't live.
Oh!
Footage from earlier in the evening. This is just a cover.
Oh, yeah, this is when they were live earlier. Yeah. Oh, so God, are they okay? Oh, that's so cool. I didn't think of that.
Go on.
We just gave you what you wanted.
Well, it's not cool, but it's...
Shots in the... Of course we're calling this shot.
So they're not alive now.
There's a wind in the studio.
No, it being in the machine.
Created a seance.
Yeah, it's brought it to everyone's houses who's watching this.
Where are we now? What's it?
Oh God, are they okay? Oh, that's the sound guy.
Is this happening outside the house? I think it is.
Yeah, this is real life. Are the police okay going over that? Okay, they're okay, but is the woman okay? The woman presenter?
We've seen Mike come out. We've seen Kim.
Yeah, but where's...
We've seen Pam.
Oh God, is she not?
That leaves Suzanne and Sarah.
Oh.
Now, where are they? Where can they be?
Which would be really weird and trippy for people watching afterwards, thinking that she had really gone.
What are these shapes?
I forgot that we had infrared.
Where are we?
What are we seeing here?
Who's that?
Who's that?
Susie?
They said the same.
It's Sarah.
Is it?
We hope.
Susie, are you there?
Oh, it's just the camera on the floor. It's just watching this.
Chris?
Because no one's in there.
Down here.
Is Chris really there though?
Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh God, oh God, oh God. They'll see pipes. I'm so nervous for this. Pipes flying towards the camera or something. Oh, don't wiggle around like that. What is that? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Yep, he was there.
Have you still got your lighter?
I'm gonna be brave. That's a massive flame. Jesus. Surely though they won't see all pipes just turn up as a... I can hear it. I can hear breathing. Will pipes just appear as a cold...
For you. Is that okay?
Oh God, it's so quiet.
Chris, look.
Hmm?
You see them?
Sarah.
Don't do that.
Sarah? Sarah?
What the hell is... Were they gaps opening up in the...
Okay, Susie.
Was that gaps opening up in the floor?
It's all right.
It looked like lights on the floor opening up. Oh God, don't go in there.
You've got to try and push the door open from the inside.
This is really creepy.
Come on.
Very well done. Oh, that's amazing with the wind. Oh, no, don't go in there, don't go in there. You'll never come. Oh, there he is. There was pipes. Yeah, this would cause absolute mayhem on TV. Because it looks so real.
Can get the link back. When you assure me that my wife is safe...
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure Mike would be worrying about...
The studio's completely dark. It's just blackness now. All the lights are filled, the powers...
I'm surprised they allowed this to go to air as well. This bit anyway, because it was pitch black. What is
lights in the studio.
What's that on the floor?
It's difficult to know, even if anybody's still with us, but...
Oh, yeah.
If they are, this is the scene in this studio.
Can they hear it in the studio?
Autocue's working.
They can't hear
Round and round the garden.
Cats.
Like a teddy bear.
What are you saying? Oh my God. And now he's the... Is it gone in? Oh, that was so cool. I mean, that's maybe swear. That V5500, the bit at the end with the present. Oh my God, yeah, the fact that I remember reading something about that. Well, they had credits, so it was. They even said about gratefully acknowledge people coming forward with paranormal event type stuff. But yeah, they had all these on there, and they apparently added the credits because they wanted people to think that okay, this is a dramatized event, blah blah blah. But you could just have credits anyway in general. I was just waiting to see if there was anything at the end. Oh, I love that they've even kept blackness at the end. Yeah, it would have made people think, oh my God, it really has gone wrong. Okay, that was one of the most intense things I've ever seen. Both horror, drama, everything. I know that was fake, but knowing that went out on the BBC, barely anyone knowing, probably no one even knowing. I'm sure some people realised it must have been a drama, but people not really knowing that was a dramatisation and then seeing that. At the beginning of it, yeah, okay, it just looks like a normal broadcast thing. But then when it's, things started happening, you started seeing pipes and you started seeing these weird things going on. Then you've got that when things really start going wrong, especially the end. That was so creepy. The fact that we don't know if Sarah Green was okay in the end. We didn't know if Michael Parkinson was possessed or something by the end of it, because he was doing the fee-fi-fo-fum thing.
Like a teddy bear.
Having that go out, one of the most beloved TV presenters, Michael Parkinson, so many people would have watched that, freaked out, hence them calling and everything. Other than that, probably not being able to get hold of the BBC very well and finding out if it was real, because back then you didn't have things like social media, you didn't have any of that stuff. It was 1992. We had to look it up or find out the information immediately about it, if that makes sense. And so many people would have been watching it and scared.
Within 5 minutes, nothing had happened. He was very distressed instantly to something very sinister in the presentation.
I think it was really, really freaking cool. That was far scarier than most things I've seen, mainly because it wasn't stuff like jump scares and the usual, oh, this is a horror. It was portrayed, that's what gets me even more. It's stuff that's always portrayed more calm and more normal, like real life. And then that becomes creepy. Like Blair Witch type stuff. I suppose like Paranormal Activity as well. That is freaky, that is really creepy and does scare me. So good. I would love to know from you guys as to if you saw that live, if you saw that go out live, what did you think? I know many of you have seen it probably years later, because apparently it was out on Shutter, I want to say, but I think since it's been taken off Shutter. What was your first experience watching that? I think it's just funny that obviously they didn't know what kind of reaction it was going to garner from the public. Michael Parkinson in there did actually say that the phone lines were jammed. So many people are trying to get hold of us right now. And in reality, for real, that happened. And obviously it was all pre-recorded, so they weren't to know that.
Our switchboard's jammed.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of... The reason I'm saying this is because of the reality TV aspect with almost the end of the world or big things going wrong. There was a TV program out years ago which was about as if Big Brother happened during a zombie apocalypse. Can't remember what it was called, but that was brilliant. I think it had Davina McCall in it, who turns into a zombie at some point as well.
Eyewitnesses describe dead or injured people attacking one another.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. Dead sad.
But please let me know your thoughts to this, and it's just a fun little thing to watch together. I didn't realise how insane it would be, so thank you for joining me for it. I'm going to check out loads of trivia in a second. I'm really eager to find out if people had written to newspapers about it, and if there was, comments made, just to see the outcry afterwards, and just to see what other kind of info there is about it going out on air.
Well, I thought it was one sick joke, the way that it was based around children.
It's also something I don't think I've seen before, where a TV show has, been broadcast live, and the entity that is shown on TV, the entity that's there, sort of bleeds out into reality from the TV sets, and anyone who's watching the program has weird things happen to them. Really intricate and cool, and the fact that they got people from the public to ring in and to give their experiences and their little stories and stuff. So well done. One of the freakiest things is that ending with Michael Parkinson saying, oh, the auto cue's playing up, and then starting to read something, and then you hear the voice, and the voice then takes over what he's saying.
Teddy bear.
Oh, here we go. So this article from the Manchester Evening News says, banned BBC show Ghostwatch left traumatised viewers in tears and unable to sleep for months. More than 30,000 frightened viewers complained about the terrifying show when it was first broadcast 30 years ago. Yeah, that was it. It was Halloween night and a nation was traumatised by one of the scariest shows ever broadcast on British TV. At 9:25 p.m. on Saturday, October 31st, 1992, Ghostwatch, a mockumentary investigating reports of a poltergeist in the most haunted house in Britain, was shown for the first time on the BBC. Michael Parkinson, Sarah Green, her husband Mike Smith, so it was her real husband, and Craig Charles, who were all household names playing themselves at the time. I didn't know that they were actually married in real life, because I didn't really know much about Mike Smith and Sarah Green. I know Michael Parkinson from TV, and I know Craig Charles from TV. I just want to say that Michael Parkinson had actually passed away not long ago. I refer to him in present terms as if he's still around. So apologies and rest in peace to Michael Parkinson. Definitely deserves to be remembered. And this is a fantastic film that he was in. Passed away on 16th of August 2023. From there, we will go on to now read some trivia. Yeah, it says here that a lot of people didn't sleep well after this was broadcast. Christina writes, I didn't sleep for months after watching this in 1992. Literally didn't sleep for 6 months. This is what I was saying about. So during the show, viewers were asked to ring in for their ghost sightings on 081, the number that was at the bottom of the screen, which is the standard number for BBC phone-ins at the time. I didn't know that. That was the actual phone number that was used for BBC phone-ins. That's interesting that it wasn't one number different. They actually used the real number.
The number you have called is not recognised. Please check the number and dial again.
And it was also used on shows including Crime Watch, really, and Going Live.
The number here to the studio once again is 081 811 8181.
The idea was that when people called up, they were greeted with a message that told them the show was fiction. And that would also, including the real number, would put people into the minds of thinking this is a real live show. They are using the same number that we always call in with. Yeah, it says here that the lines were completely blocked by callers, and it says with only 5 operators answering the phones, most people could only hear an engaged line, which only convinced them the show might be real. In today's digital world, of course, viewers could check within seconds whether it was fake. This is what I was saying, because you wouldn't know back then. Yeah, see, this is what I thought as well. Ghostwatch's writer Stephen Volk said, you couldn't do what we did nowadays and get away with it. Well, one, because people will call you out in the first couple of seconds saying, oh, it's not real. But still, yeah, people would know in 30 seconds what was going on, really. Because the only thing that was very vaguely similar to it was what I have mentioned about there was like a 70s show that was talking about these kids in a house. I haven't seen it myself, I just know of it.
A sequence of bizarre happenings which unfolded round these children and their mother have made the walls of the house rattle with the impact of flying objects and the sound of mysterious knockings.
About 30,000 complaints were made to the BBC, including allegedly Parkinson's mum.
My mother thought it was real. She rang me up and said, well, it was very frightening, wasn't it? Where's he gone? I said, what? She said, come on, Mum.
And a woman in whose labour induced as well apparently phoned in. But this is the bit I was reading. A vicar phoned in to complain, even though he realised it wasn't real. He thought the BBC had raised demonic forces. This is what Volk told the BBC in 2017. It was partly that it scared people, but the complaints were actually more that the BBC had made them feel like mugs. People felt the BBC was something they could trust, and the programme had destroyed that trust. A 10-year ban was imposed on it being shown again, but it has never been back on TV fully since, and is now only available on DVD. And then it was obviously available on Shutter. From what I've been told, it was available on Shutter. Wow, more than 11 million people watched the show. But things took a tragic turn when it was blamed for the death of teenager Martin Denham. The 18-year-old who had learning difficulties ended things after his parents said he was hypnotised and obsessed with Ghostwatch. The complaint, however, was not upheld by what is now Ofcom.
If somebody had been so terrified out of his wits. I mean, there's 2 or 3 hours while I waited until I found out what the actual content of the notes were.
That is horrifying about Martin. I can't even imagine what must have been going through his head, what must have been going on with his family, and the effect of it all. It says here, though, this is what I've heard of before about the writing of the series. It was originally meant to be a 6-part drama series about a paranormal investigator. The show was condensed into 1 episode after the BBC were unconvinced it warranted such length.
Episode 6 of my drama was supposedly a live broadcast from a haunted house in a tower block in London. Why don't we just do episode 6? What if we do it as if it's live?
The reaction has been compared to supposed mass hysteria caused by Orson Welles' War of the Worlds radio broadcast 54 years earlier in 1938, where listeners were told that aliens were invading the Earth. Yeah, in regards to Ghostwatch, the public panic caused has since been played down, with the press at the time accused of exaggerating the impact of the event. But despite the fact that a writer's credit was shown at the start of Ghostwatch, and it was listed as a drama in Radio Times, people were convinced by its reality. Yeah, I'll leave some links to things in the description below if I can. The BBC were accused of deliberately cultivating a sense of menace by broadcast regulators. Leslie Manning, the show's director, said that I definitely didn't set out to cause mass hysteria. I think one of the places that I found out about Ghostwatch, I was watching a physical media collector's channel. I'm going to leave a link below to an interview that was done with Leslie Manning herself. One of the physical media YouTubers that I watch, Heath from Serial at Midnight. And if you don't know Heath, if you don't know Serial at Midnight, he's fantastic. Check out his channel, and I'll leave a link in the description below as well to that specific video. So go and check that out if you'd love to find out a bit more information. They go into details about Ghostwatch itself. They say some information about the behind the scenes. They don't, from what I remember, they don't spoil anything about the film itself, but they just go into talks of her life in the industry and about Ghostwatch, it having its 30th anniversary last year. But if you love information about films and about the process of filmmaking and just information in general, in regards to physical media, the way things are made, then yeah, you'll one, love his channel, and two, you'll love that interview with Leslie. This is an interview with the creators, and it says here, it's Halloween night in 1992, and families across the UK are excitedly huddled around the television. Saturday Night TV is at its peak. Gladiators has just premiered on TV. Funnily enough, I was watching something about that the other day. Casualty is enjoying its 7th series, and Noel's House Party, love Noel's House Party, is pulling in 15 million viewers a week. But tonight's big draw is the BBC's heavily promoted Ghostwatch, a supposedly live investigation into paranormal activity being recorded at a family home in Northolt, northwest London. Yes, at the time, Michael Parkinson was among a host of familiar, trusted faces on the programme. Oh, in regards to Mike and Sarah being in it, apparently it was offered to Sarah initially, and Mike, I think, this is what they've said, what Volk said, I think, happened to read it over her shoulder and said, "Can I be in it too?" And that's how come they're both in it. Anyway, I won't read this entire interview with him, but it's just fascinating how things kind of went down beforehand. Like, it was groundbreaking to television in many ways, from the infrared. So was that not a thing at the time? Heat-seeking camera used to spot ghostly activity, to the pixelation of an interviewee's face. Really, was that one of the first times that happened as well? Obviously, I'm not going to look too much into that as to when the first times were, because otherwise we'll be researching into this for hours. They also used videotape instead of the typical 16mm film to make it look more homemade. Though the production team wanted to make it look more realistic, shortly before its transmission, the programme featured on the cover of the Radio Times. Inside, which it explained it was a drama. No. What a shame. But I suppose that would have caused some people to tune in. And even me knowing that it was fake, that it was a drama, I loved that. I was so intrigued by that. And finding pipes in the shots. One of the parts that that just really sent chills down my spine was the bit where they're talking in the studio, the lights are lowering down, and you see him or something in the background over her shoulder. That was so well done. Another part that really sent shivers through my spine was, we see them sitting down, and I said, oh, everyone must be okay, which is obviously what we were meant to think, and what everyone at home and in the studio was meant to be thinking, oh, okay, they're okay, because we can see them on the screen again. They're all sat around playing chess or whatever it was at the table. And I said, oh, okay, so they are all okay and they are alive and blah, blah, blah. But it never occurred to me that the ghost was in the machine, that it was getting out, and that it was trying to give you this false sense of security, and it had escaped. It wasn't in the house any longer. It was in people's TVs. And I don't know if it was meant to have gone just into the studio or gone to other TVs around the country and that, which is even more frightening if that was supposedly what happened. But the bit that got me was when she goes, yeah, but the picture's on the wall.
The picture on the wall?
What about the picture on the wall?
It's still there.
Because I was looking at the picture going, it suddenly looks really strange, and I thought, it looks like nothing has happened yet, even though things have blatantly happened in the house, and we've seen things happening. Because we see the mirror on one side shake, and then we also see the picture fly off the wall. When we see that bit of footage, we see it from the far out of camera, and the picture's still on the wall. So this is a pre-recorded bit of footage. So well done. Oh, here we go. So this is a little bit more information in regards to, one, it's a family mentioning their time watching it, but it's also a little bit of information into what happened with that 18-year-old. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. He did something to himself because of this programme. In Nottingham, April and Percy Denham were sitting down to watch the programme together with their two sons. The pair recalled how their elder son, became more and more agitated throughout the broadcast. He sort of curled up while watching it. We asked if he was alright, but he seemed hypnotised by it, which is so strange because in the show itself, we hear people say, my kids are watching it and they can't take their eyes off it, they're just staring, and as if they're hypnotised. Oh god, what I didn't realise, and I may have mentioned this already, but I didn't realise that Sarah Green wasn't just an ordinary presenter for the BBC, she was a children's TV presenter. Think about it though, if parents had let their kids stay up, like is obviously mentioned in the show, the kids would have seen Sarah and thought, oh okay, everything's going to be fine. And then all the scary stuff happens. Hopefully the kids weren't up watching it, but do you know what I mean? I suppose it goes to prove that people wouldn't have really known anything else, because if they just saw Sarah there and they didn't watch children's TV, then they wouldn't know Sarah's face in general. They would know her as a vaguely familiar face from TV, but they wouldn't recognise her too much as being a children's presenter. Oh, here we go. Just remember I said about the lines actually being jammed for real. It says here, behind the scenes, the Ghostwatch production team were enjoying celebratory drinks as the programme aired. Ruth Baumgarten arrived with a white face and said the switchboard had been jammed at the BBC. Yeah, apparently 3 women who were pregnant went into labour that evening. In regards to, I know we're sort of changing things around constantly, but in regards to the Denhams with the son having passed, it says in the days that followed the broadcast, the Denhams noticed a change in Martin. The radiators in their house had a habit of being noisy when warming up, and Martin suddenly had to ask to move bedrooms, though he never explained why. He seemed entranced with the talk of ghosts, Mrs. Denham remembers. He seemed to be upset because things were happening at the time in the house that had been happening on Ghostwatch with the pipes that were banging. We will get into some trivia in a second about Ghostwatch itself. I'm just kind of reading some of these bits because it's heartbreaking, the kind of effect that the film had on people. 5 days after the broadcast, he passed, and a note in his pocket addressed to his mother read, if there is ghosts, I will now be one, and I will always be with you as one. The Denhams learned of what happened when police came to their places of work. That is heartbreaking. Mr. Denham says, I went crackers, I started swearing. When I heard about the contents of the note, I knew it was that programme. I'm surprised I didn't get in a lot more trouble for it, to be fair. Yeah, Volk says, I think if the BBC had maybe not shut down it so quickly, it being on TV and banning it, etc., there might have been an attempt to have a conversation about it. He wanted to kind of explain his reasons behind making it, etc. Suddenly we found a whole pile of people who did like it, then enjoyed it, thought it was challenging and all the things we had wanted it to be. He remains proud of Ghostwatch, the first project he did for television. Ironically, Volk then went on to write an episode of Ghosts for the BBC in 1995, created ITV series Afterlife, starring Andrew Lincoln and Leslie Sharp, didn't know that, and was also behind the 2011 film The Awakening as well. The best result was that people were coming up to him saying, I had to sleep with a light on for 3 weeks, but it did get me into filmmaking. And some have said, it got me into horror. So apparently they even put out an additional reassurance later on in the evening as well, which there is a video clip of, and so I'll put that here.
If you were with us for our Ghostwatch earlier, may I reassure you that it was just a story, and all's well here at Television Centre.
So fascinating because obviously they were trying to reassure people as much as possible, but obviously it wasn't doing a very good job. Again, that video there was found from VHS Video Vault on YouTube as well. In case you guys want to see it, there's also a behind the curtains documentary with the team behind Ghostwatch, and it's by a company called Lawman Productions, but you can check it out at Ghostwatch BTC. It looks very interesting, so I'm gonna have to check that out. The only thing I will include in this video is any additional clips that I can see that might give extra context to things that I say. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be doing too much info and like trivia pieces and delving into stuff from this. Also in regards to documentaries and things about Ghostwatch itself, on the Blu-ray there is a documentary called Do You Believe in Ghosts, which is a 30th anniversary documentary on the phenomenon itself. So if you want to check that out, you can do. There's also commentary on there with film historians and some other people, like the people involved in the film itself, from what I can tell. There's a reproduced script as well, which is also annotated by director Leslie Manning. And from what I remember, that is also spoken about in the interview that I mentioned on Serial at Midnight's channel. So all of that, I'd say, if you're fascinated by this as much as I am, then check out that, both. if you can. Check out the interview, check out the documentary itself. Also, I was completely wrong as to where Ghostwatch had been available before. I said Shutter quite a few times, and apologies. It was Shudder. I haven't seen any of the other Shudder stuff. I didn't know that, but I always thought it was Shutter. But Shudder makes more sense because it is to do with horror. I thought Shutter like a camera, so that's my bad. So you've probably seen the rest of it, and you probably haven't even seen this bit of the video. That's what I meant. So hopefully you've seen up to this point. Let me know if you have. Okay, let's get into some of the trivia now. Finally, I know. So I'd heard about this. It apparently earned the dubious honour of being the first TV programme to be cited in the British Medical Journal as having caused PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, in children. The rumour that the show's makers had wanted to include a high-pitched tone that would agitate viewers' pets during the broadcast is mostly true. That's such an insane thing that they were going to try and do. I think that would have destroyed people's trust of the BBC even more if they had. Yeah, writer Stephen Volk suggested it, but as soundtracks are capped for transmission, meaning limited in pitch, volume, etc., even if permission had been secured to go ahead with the idea, technically speaking, it would not have been possible. While you may not see him, Pipes appears many times. To name a few, in the bedroom after the face-cutting scene, yes, we saw that. Behind the door to the cellar in the closing minutes, yes, we saw that one as well. I'm glad I picked up on both of those. In the glass, as Sarah picks up the posters, yes, that was the other thing, when you see the cat jump down and I said I saw him in the reflection, and you see him there but standing behind them. I was right, he was in the crowd at the park as Craig Charles walks around. There are also many other times. Yeah. Oh, on the night of transmission, actress Gillian Bevan returned home from the rap party to find an answer machine message from friend and fellow actress Judi Dench.
I'd just been directed by Judi Dench earlier in the year. She had left me a message on my answer phone when I got back home saying, "How dare you? You've ruined my evening. You've ruined my evening, Ginny Bev. I thought it was going to be..." And then I saw you doing it and I thought, well, it can't be.
Thought I recognised Gillian, but then I saw the guy, the American guy that they ring up, although they speak to on the video. And that guy I recognised from Doctor Who. Oh, in Behind the Curtains, the documentary things I was saying about, producer Leslie Manning confirmed that although 8 sightings of Pipes have been reported in the film, there are in fact 13. I wonder how many I counted. There is actually a video that highlights all of the sightings of Pipes. So I'm going to just see if I noticed all of those ghost sightings. If you want to check out that full video, then you can do over on Movie Thangs. And I'll put that in the description below as well. Yeah, so this one we saw, he is there in the background on the left, which is very well done with the overlay. It's where we see him behind. There, yeah. Yep. And then we see him in the window over there in the background. Although I don't think they really picked up on it there, but then it was proved to be a cat, wasn't it? So, and then as they pan up here, he's there behind them. There, yep. Got his right so far. Yeah, here. There. And he's not there. Just there. And it was so clever. Yeah, then when they open this door, he's sitting behind the door. Just there. I'm glad I picked up on all of these. Wait, did we see him here as well? We don't see him here though, did we? Or do we? Oh, we see him there. Did they pick up on that though? That he was there in the rafters? Oh, there's a close-up there. I completely missed that close-up. There, he's there and there. Yep. I got picked up on that one. Okay, so we picked up on all of those, and the only one I missed out of all of the sightings was the very quick glimpse of him in the cut, when you see the glitch happen and then you see him. I'm actually surprised that I missed it because I always pick up on those kind of hidden subliminal message type images that are there. This was it. So writer Stephen Volk found his inspiration for Ghostwatch in a real life case from the late 1970s, referred to in the media as the Enfield poltergeist. The bit when she speaks in that demonic voice sent shivers down my spine. Just came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it to happen.
Stop it!
Oh, the Ghost in the Sheet painting hanging over the studio fireplace is actually a print of an existing piece by Austrian-Irish artist Gottfried Helmwien, which Stephen Volk first saw at an exhibition in Vienna. It very well plays into the film and it works so well. The smeared looking black and white graphics that adorn the BBC studio set were made by dragging a gothic door knocker across a photocopier during a scan cycle. That's fantastic. I'd never have guessed that's how they made it, but it looks perfect for it. Oh, there was me saying about the Blair Witch. Apparently the makers of the Blair Witch were reported to have seen this before they made their own movie. Oh, that's hilarious that I said about Blair Witch. Oh, the writer wanted the story to go further, with Parkinson claiming the ghost
is probably in your house.
Yeah, that would have sent shivers down your spine. I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that. So apparently phone-in caller Mary Christopher is actually the director, Leslie Manning, as the original actress hired for the role when they couldn't deliver the lines as intended.
Oh, hello. My name's Mary Christopher.
Likewise, the voice artist brought in to voice Pipes, the ghost, was also substituted for Manning's own uncredited performance. So that means that Pipes was Leslie Manning all along. The TV movie was inspired by the 1938, whether that's true or not, was inspired by the 1938 radio broadcast of War of the Worlds. So it was half right. So, you know, in the scene when it pans from one to the other in the kitchen, and I said, oh, she's there in the background. I thought it was the younger daughter that we saw on the stairs. And I was like, well, we've just seen her in bed. But now she's on the stairs. What's going on? Is that the ghost taking her form kind of thing? Well, apparently when the camera pans from Sarah making the coffee for the crew across to Mike Hayton that is, Suzanne Early can be seen hiding on the stairwell, which is the older sister.
Sort of just like an animal scratching his...
listening on the conversation. Later on, the same rack of 6 mugs which Sarah uses in this scene inexplicably becomes shattered after Pam Early declares, "We're all telling the truth."
We're all telling the truth.
So maybe that's meant to say, well, one of us isn't, because one of us is trying to make up some of this stuff about me, as in the ghost himself. And that's why they smashed. Maybe that's what that's telling us. The show was allegedly nominated for a BAFTA, but the BBC withdrew it due to the criticism they had received over the project.
No way that it would have... no, it's much too controversial.
Many of Sarah Green's camera crew were actual real-life camera crew. I can gather that. Oh, here we go. The strip of technical information displayed on the screen by Chris Miller's thermal vision scope is time-stamped whilst the camera is in operation, and had to be augmented in post-production to accurately read 1992 October 31st. So all of that part of it was real, like the information there on the screen was apparently real, but they just changed it in post-production to say 1992 October 31st instead. But the information doesn't change on the screen, so they could have just, faked the whole thing that was on the screen. Maybe they did, maybe they just took all the other information that was on the screen, copied the rest of it, but then just changed the date so that all the information looked the same and didn't look like they had replaced the date at the bottom. Yeah, at the beginning of the broadcast of the TV movie on the BBC One announcer said, "Now on BBC One, Screen 1 presents an unusual but sometimes disturbing film marking Halloween. Over the centuries, there have been countless reports of ghosts and ghouls, but the line between fact and fiction has always been unclear."
But the line between fact and fiction has always been unclear.
Using the modern idiom of the outside broadcast, Michael Parkinson, Sarah Green, Mike Smith and Craig Charles star in Ghostwatch.
Star in Ghostwatch.
Hope you liked my almost accurate representation of what a BBC announcer would probably sound like saying that. Apparently before Sarah Green became the reporter at the haunted house, a number of other presenters were considered, including Joanna Lumley, Kirsty Young and Yvette Fielding. So here, Fielding was Blue Peter presenter at the time, was warned off hosting the special, and in a strange twist of fate 10 years later, she then hosted the series Most Haunted, a show similar, very, very similar in style to Ghostwatch. When it's very similar, it's basically Ghostwatch.
We guarantee no tricks, no camera illusions, and no practical jokes.
I like it and I appreciate that kind of program, that kind of TV show, but it's very fake. Oh, the distinctive sound of Tunstall's disembodied wailing cat can also be heard in 1987's comedy drama With Nail and I, and I think that is on our list to watch at some point. Specifically the first scene to feature Richard Griffith's cat-loathing character, Uncle Monty. Yeah, Richard Broke wanted a music score for this, but it was vetoed by the production team. I'm glad that there was no score, because as much as I absolutely love scores, it wouldn't have worked for that, because that was meant to be like a real production studio program. The only time it would have made sense was, for instance, when they did the intro sequence. You got some music there. That's probably the only time it would have worked. But for the rest of it, it wouldn't have worked. I thought this as much because they've done similar on Doctor Who, as in the classic Doctor Who's that we're watching. The on-screen map graphic used to show where phoning guests are calling from was actually a printed artwork, filmed on set using a locked-off camera, vision mixed and fed into the video wall for the actors to respond to live. I say that because on Doctor Who and on other things, like for instance when they did the opening title sequence to Star Wars, the rolling credits screen, and a lot of credit screens that they show on film and TV, all of those are done with a camera shooting a plate that is moved in one direction. That's kind of how they did credits and titles for some things back then. They could do it some other ways, but that was one of the ways that they could do it. Oh, I'd heard about this. It says actively seeking out the latest on-screen graphics throughout the shoot. Leslie Manning utilised the now common page turn effect before it was due to premiere on popular music show Top of the Pops. Apparently the grey BBC trucks, as seen in the opening title sequence, are 1988 British Leyland freighters. Due to strict demarcation rules within the BBC, director Leslie Manning had to choose whether to make Ghostwatch either with a dedicated studio crew or outside broadcast staff. This resulted in the show's hero scanner truck effectively arriving on set as a prop, even though a manned OB unit would have been perfectly outfitted for such an event. It's always interesting finding out these random but wonderful bits of information. But yeah, that's all of the information I can find in regards to Ghostwatch. There will be more information that you can gather yourselves from the Ghostwatch documentaries. I'm going to check out both, which is the Ghostwatch Behind the Curtains documentary and also the documentary of Do You Believe in Ghosts from the Blu-ray of Ghostwatch as well. Let me know your thoughts on this film and what your thoughts were when it came out or when you saw it eventually. And also, did you spot pipes in all of the instances that he showed up? I'm super intrigued as to what people thought back then. That's some of the reason why I can't wait to watch the documentaries, to hopefully get a bit more information about that stuff. And it's also one of the reasons I want to find out so much information from you guys about this as well. Don't forget, if you want to check out the full reaction to this, you can see it over on the Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It has been an absolute pleasure seeing something which was so beloved and has now become a cult classic over the years. If you're watching this at Halloween, by the way, then happy Halloween, and I hope you have a wonderful spooky season. Take care, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much. You are amazing, and I'd love to say a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons: Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Michael, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stojcheva, Necesno, and Megan Zhanoviak.
If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Have a wonderful day, guys, and see you next time.